The Champions League is back. We have our Tuesdays and Wednesdays back, boys. Rejoice. Wrong. Don't rejoice. Man United are still a problem. I know I said I wouldn't talk about Man United for a while, but I think I just got too excited about the Champions League to not make a video about the opening match day, so here we are. Plus, to make this more bearable, I wanted to talk about some of the other UCL matches that I watched. You'll get the more calm and collected football chat there. It's a 2-in-1 video. Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope we're all doing well. I'm Tinashe, welcome back to the channel. Standing up for this one because I've just had a coffee and have energy to spare, unlike Marcus Rashford in the last 20 minutes last night. Right off the bat, we have to be honest here. Even though Bayern Munich are going through their own problems, I don't think anybody expected Man United to come away from this one with a win. Going up against the German champions at home, no shot. Their problems are nowhere near as deep as United's. At the same time, the scoreline does breed optimism. I mean, there are worse things to experience than a 4-3 at the Allianz Arena. And yes, before you ask, I am high on copium. But let's be real, that scoreline doesn't tell the full story. They did do okay in portions, particularly in that first 28 minutes and a little bit after that, but it was mostly just all Bayern from then on. 2 late goals by Casemiro could have stolen a point, which would have been nice, but undeserved. Bayern and Sané in particular could have and probably should have scored more. This game, just like pretty much every other Man United game so far this season, comes down to 2 things: individual moments and lapses in concentration. Christian Eriksen was maybe the worst out there. The handball for the penalty was unlucky. I don't blame him for that. But apart from that, he was giving the ball away and not tracking runners all night. He was in Onana's ear right before the penalty, trying to tell him which direction to go in, as if it would have made a difference. My brother in Christ. That is Harry Kane. Like I said, Bayern have been having their own problems lately. There was the draw to Bayer Leverkusen over the weekend, and God knows what the situation behind closed doors is like now. We all know what it was like a couple months ago. With Spurs doing well, and Leverkusen doing well, it didn't take too long for people to start making the "what if Leverkusen and Spurs win their league" joke. Kane heard that and took it personally. Andre Onana had his worst game as a Man United player by far last night. Letting that first goal creep in under him, that was a terrible mistake. He's conceded 14 goals in his first 6 games as a Man United player, which is crazy. But I think we all have to be fair, he hasn't exactly been at fault for the majority of those. As a matter of fact, in what's been a dreadful start, he's been one of the only bright sparks in the squad. And he clearly feels responsible for the loss.
Difficult situation for us, for me especially, because I'm the one who let the team down.
Man United really should be called Apology FC at this point. I'm over here waiting for the next wall of text from Rashford. Any day now. The number 1 position at Man United is a tough job. And he made some very good saves in this match too. Bayern had 20 shots after all. Reguilón was okay, Martial played well when he came on, Højlund got his first goal, which is a really big deal. Casemiro was good, Bruno was meh. Listen, I'm not even mad about this match. In the grand scheme of things, I do think United will still go through in this group, but last night, just played a better squad. They were more organized, they were communicating better, they transitioned quicker. I watch Bayern Munich play semi-regularly, and every time I do, I'm always in awe of how fast Alphonso Davies is. There was a moment when Rashford saw he was up against him in a foot race late on, and he just gave up. Thomas Müller became only the 3rd player to win 100 matches in UCL history last night, which is an insane achievement. Hats off to him. Alright, now that that's out the way, we can actually have a little bit of fun and talk about football. I'm gonna be honest, I'm only gonna be talking about the matches that I watched and then comment a little bit on all the other ones. Full disclosure, that was PSG Dortmund, Newcastle Milan, United Bayern, and PSV Arsenal. Arsenal returned to the Champions League for the first time since 2017, which was 6 years ago, by the way, and it was a big bumper night at the Emirates that lived up to expectations. Watching Man United get battered on one screen and then watching Arsenal just run circles around the opposition on the other was quite an experience. I had a lot of fun. Saka opened the scoring on his UCL debut. It's about time he brought his talents to the competition, and after that, it was basically just a game of bangers. Ødegaard, Trossard, Jesus. Must be nice. The North London derby is gonna be serious business. Legend has it that the football gods all met up centuries ago and all agreed that every competition going forward would include at least one group of death. Fast forward to this year, and they've delivered once again. Group F. AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Newcastle United, and Paris Saint-Germain. After game day 1, we've all been given a taste of how things are gonna play out, and It's a lot of what we all expected. I actually really wanted to talk about this group back when the draw was actually made about 3 weeks ago, but just got distracted by something. Can't remember what it was. It was probably God of War. It's a great game. In the end, I predict it's going to be PSG and Milan that go through. I thought this at the time the draw was made, and after watching the first set of matches, I'm more inclined to double down. Newcastle haven't been in the UCL since 2004, but now they're back. It's too bad their recent form doesn't really reflect the form that got them here in the first place. They've lost 3 of their 4 previous matches going into this one. Those losses were Brighton, Man City, and Liverpool, but still. And this probably should have been another loss. That is, of course, if AC Milan had remembered how to score on the night. To be fair to them, they were probably still traumatized from the 5 that Inter gave them over the weekend. Makes sense. Sandro Tonali, who moved from Milan in the transfer window and whose family are lifelong Milan fans, said he wasn't sure who his dad was going to be supporting. Tough, but fair. Chance after chance, Milan just failed to cross the finish line. Rafael Leao had a moment he'd rather forget when he tried to go for a back heel after some great skill. It didn't come off. Also, his backtracking could probably do with some work. A lot like Marcus Rashford's. Great point for Newcastle. PSG haven't exactly had the best start to the domestic season. 5 games in, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Also, does anyone else remember that time when Kylian Mbappe wasn't going to be allowed back in the team unless he signed an extension? Well, here he is, notching a penalty to open the scoring in the tie against Dortmund. In fact, it was his 8th this season already. You know, I really thought they weren't going to play him. I really did. The front line of Mbappe, Muani, and Dembele looks like it will cause damage. I don't know, I kind of thought Muani was a little bit slow in his reactions in this match, especially when latching on to interplay between his 2 wide men, but otherwise, he played pretty well. They're obviously all French internationals, but from a club perspective, they're playing like a trio that is still learning to gel together. It's gonna be mad when they eventually do. Real Madrid, Inter Milan, and Borussia Dortmund must kick themselves every time they remember that Hakimi doesn't play for them anymore. The composure on his goal was crazy. I feel like I'm the only one that just found out that Warren Zaire-Emery is only 17. Either I'm deaf, blind, or both, but I saw this guy play a little bit for PSG last year, and as I was watching him glide through Dortmund's defense yesterday, I couldn't believe it when the commentators were saying it. Saying he's a bright prospect is putting it lightly. I do feel bad for Sule. That penalty was harsh. It looked like he was just trying to break his fall. 2-0 to PSG. Long day for Dortmund. I'm not trying to add gas to the fire or anything, but that Petro State derby between PSG and Newcastle, it's gonna be heated. Jude Bellingham can't keep getting away with this. Another dramatic late winner. Real Madrid own this competition. Jude Bellingham is running things over at Madrid right now. It only makes sense that the winner had to come from him. It's not even the first time he scored after the 90th minute to secure 3 points this season. It's kind of rude for Real Madrid to bully the new guy. This was Union Berlin's first ever Champions League match in their history, and already they've been introduced to Real Madrid's hacks. As for Atletico, added time wasn't so great. When a goalkeeper scores against you in the 95th minute to level the score, you're not having a good time. This guy's movement in the box was better than his own strikers. That's off to him. I think he's got a future up top. Man City went a goal down in the 45th minute against Red Star Belgrade, only for Julian Alvarez to equalize 2 minutes into the second half and for City to win 3-1. The scriptwriters really need to start getting original. This is getting crazy at this point. The Ultras over at Young Boys had a lot to say about the state of the group they're in, putting out a statement denouncing the fact that they've been made to compete in a group where their opponents embody, quote, commerce, corruption, money laundering, and modern slavery. Meanwhile, they're only young boys. I'm sorry, I had to make the joke. But at the same time, are they wrong? No. Is anything gonna be done about it? No. Also, they lost 3-1 to Leipzig. It is what it is. And there we have it. Let me know what you guys think about this kind of video, a miniature review of Champions League games, but just the big games, let's be honest. Brighton video coming up early next week, so you can watch out for that. Feel free to follow all the socials, all the links are in the description. That's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.